Yo, what's up guys? It's Kodi. In this video, I'm just going to be giving some pointers and tips and tricks for new incoming Magicka Dragonknight players. Keep in mind, these tips and tricks may center around the build that I'm running, which is a heavy armor build. For light armor, it may be a little bit different. So just to clear things up real quick, I'm running 2 Blood Spawn, 5 Seducer, and 5 Burning Spellweave. If you're wearing a heavy armor setup, these tips and tricks and pointers should apply to you. So without further ado, let's jump into some different bar setups that I tend to use on a Dragonknight. For duels or for any 1v1 or small scale situation, the best way to enter a fight on a Dragonknight is by having all your buffs up. Keep in mind the Magicka Dragonknight does not have the best Magicka sustain in the game. The Magicka sustain is pretty hard for some people. Your resources is going to come from tripods, ultimates, and if you're wearing heavy armor, like I said, your constitution passive. We have really low Magicka recovery. That's what most Dragonknights run with, low Magicka recovery, especially this build. So that's where your resources are going to come from. So I'm going to be giving tips and tricks centered around playing this type of heavy armor playstyle. So for one, make sure you have some type of add-on track or you're paying attention to your visual effects. Like if you have volatile armor up, it's like a 20-second buff. You don't want to be volatile armoring every 5 seconds or 10 seconds. There's no point. Yes, it does leave a dot, but the dot's not necessary for the 2400 Magicka, and you don't have unlimited sustain. So it's best to use it every 20 seconds or before, like when there's 1 second left. Pretty like simple. That pretty much applies for all classes, but be careful with like using your skills. Like I see a lot of Dragonknights, they're just walking around, they're doing their skills, and by the time they get in a fight, they're like 70%, 60% Magicka. Like you want to start the fight fresh. You want to start the fight like on a good side, you know? So we got Mist Form and we got Igneous and Quack. I'm going to talk about your defensive abilities. These are the most expensive skills on a Dragonknight. You want to use Elusive Mist when you're in a situation where there's no really point of blocking anymore, to the point where you're going to just be blocking and wasting your stamina. If you're really low on Magicka, that's when you want to use your stamina, and then when you're really low on stamina, that's when you want to use your Mist Form. You don't want to wait too long though. You don't want to wait at like 20% stamina in this Mist Form. Like you can, but that's not the best idea because you could get CC'd as soon as you're out of Mist Form, and that could just lead to the end of the fight. So I take turns with blocking in Mist Form. Of course you want to use Mist Form if you want to get to a line of sight, or you want to get to somewhere, or you're snared, rooted, etc. And that's when I'm going to introduce how I heal and sustain my Magicka when it comes to healing. So Igneous Shield, as you may or not know, it increases your coagulating blood and your burning embers or any type of healing on your Dragonknight. 25% in healing as soon as you pop this. You have 4 seconds, got 4 total seconds to get a beefy heal after Igneous is applied. You have 6 seconds and the shield lasts for 5, or 7.2 it is. So definitely make sure you Igneous before you Quag Blood. If you are really low, like 10% health, do not Igneous first. You can get executed right away, even with Igneous on. Igneous is not a super durable shield. It can get knocked off with an execute, and this is still an incredible heal when you're really low health. So if you're at that low of threshold, it's really just best to pop off the coagulating blood real quick. Even through block, you can still die through Igneous. I even make the mistake sometimes. So it may just be best to dodge coagulating blood. Yeah. Okay, make sure you have your structured entropy up all the time. Your major sorcery, that's your buff, lasts for 20 seconds. Pretty cheap. So even if you apply, you can apply it again because it does serve as an empowerment, and you can use it before a meteor or before a leap and buff the leap or meteor by 20%. It's pretty good. I do that sometimes since I run it. But if you're running Rattle Cage, it's not an option. You can time it with other things. But I will get into offensive bursts in a moment. Shooting Star. It's either Shooting Star or Devouring Swarm. They're both great ultimates. The reason I really like Shooting Star is because it's going to give me a lot more resources, and it's really, really strong. It hits really hard, and it can hit anyone if you have everyone locked down in your talons. And give you ultimate back, which is going to ultimately get you further in the fight because you're going to have Ferocious Sleep up a lot quicker. Make sure you guys get Combat Frenzy, by the way. I forgot to mention this, but you need ultimate on a Dragonknight. The more kills you get, the longer you're going to survive. It's simple as that. Like, ultimate is the powerhouse. It's the mojo when it comes to playing a Dragonknight. You want this. Every time you kill someone, you get 20 ultimate. don't forget about the fighter guild passives, because if you kill an undead, Daedra, or werewolf, so like a vampire or werewolf, you're gonna get 29 ultimate. Crazy, right? So make sure you're blocking. You're gonna generate ultimate that way. And this is a little trick I do. So I don't use coagulating blood until I'm very low. Not too low, but low enough to the point where the heal is going to be really effective, so I save more magicka in the long run. So basically what I'm saying is, like, let's say you're perma blocking and you're getting chased down, right? You're taking a lot of damage. You're like at 70%, right? There's no point to coagulating blood at 70% if you're blocking. You're not going to get one shot. You're in heavy armor. You have about 25k health on this bar. It's not necessary to heal. Like, you're just going to be wasting 3,200 magicka. It's best to use this at a low point so you get a big enough heal and you only have to use it once. So basically what I'll do is I'll just be blocking and walking, waiting till I'm at a low threshold. About 30 to 40% is like a safe enough place. 40 is a lot safer because you can get feared, right? The only thing that's going to kill you, and the only reason I say you don't want to go too low of health while you're blocking, is because of things that go through CC. I mean, CCs that go through block. So you don't want to wait till you're like at 10%. You could get feared and die. Like 30 to 40, 20 if you really think you got the fight and there's no night blades around that can fear you, or any CCs that go through block. You can wait a little bit longer. But I'll like igneous at like 50%, and then I'll mistform just to be careful. Then drop down to like 30 while I'm mistform, and then I'll pop a coagulating blood. And it's just, the heal is amazing, and I save a lot of magicka since I'm doing one big heal instead of multiple intervals of heals. So I hope that all makes sense. If you guys have any questions, by the way, just comment in the section below, or just whisper me at Kodi. So that's pretty much a little tip that I do. I block, wait till I'm low health, and then I mistform a little bit. And then right before the igneous major mending ends, I pop off that really big heal. I don't need to spam Quag Blood, try to get 100%. Like, the lower your health is, guys, the more missing health you have, the bigger the heal is. So that's the reason why I perform that little trick. Okay, Ferocious Sleep. This is changed this patch. It does flame damage, and it is a really, really strong ultimate. 16k, and I'm not even buffed with Burning Spell Weave, Wrath, or Structured Entropy. Like, there's no boss on me right now, and it's a really strong ultimate. You want to make sure, this is like your execute pretty much. You need to kill someone with this skill. If you are really in trouble and you're outnumbered and you have to use it, go ahead. I know you need resources, go ahead, but you really need to get a kill. Remember what I said with Combat Frenzy. The more kills you get, the longer you're going to survive. The more ultimate you get, the more sustain you got, the more you survive. Use this as your execute. If you really have to use it, fucking kill that bitch, right? Just remember what I said. Kill that bitch. Sorry for my words, but you got to kill that person. So the best way is, if you're running double dots, make sure you got Burning Embers engulfing on that person, so you're going to hit him 10% harder. You got him wear and tearing, whipping him. And what I like to do is, I like to Flame Lash and then proc that Power Lash from the town. So I'll put all three dots: Burning Embers, engulfing, Burning Towns. And Burning Towns, since it's an immobilization, it'll proc the Power Lash. So you'll have all of them, and you want to time leap. You want to make sure you know your average leap hit, and you can kind of use a perception thing. If they're heavy armor, if they have high health, low health, light armor, you can tell what, like, if that leap's gonna kill that person or not. You just gotta like know like how tanky that person is just by seeing your damage in the fight and everything, or just by how they look or how much health they have. So it's best to like use this and time it with another skill. So if you're using Draw Essence, time it with the Explosion. If you're using Structured Entropy, you can do a little bar swap and power the leap and hit them with the Power Lash. So a Power Lash and a leap would be like a burst combo on the Dragonknight. You just want to wear and tear them down. You don't want to leap someone or ultimate when they're at like 80% health. Like, it's just, it doesn't make sense. You're just going to be using it to gain resources. You want to get the kill. You have to use your ultimate strategically. And this goes for all classes, guys. So apply your dots, wear and tear them down. And when they're at the good health, you can Power Lash with a Ferocious Sleep. You can empower the leap with a Power Lash. You can wait for the Draw Essence Explosion. There's many different ways. Meteor, you guys know, you Meteor, you Fossilize, you make sure both dots are on them. Proc the Power Lash, it's really strong. After the Fossilize ends, if you're using this morph that immobilizes them, make sure you Towns them. You want to keep them in that Meteor dot. It's really strong. I'm trying to think of some other things. Lately, I've been using Flames of Oblivion. I really like the crit on a Dragonknight. Really helps with more hard-hitting first sleep since they crit a lot more. You can time it with even this, guys. Like, this goes up to like an 8k tooltip when I'm fully buffed. Goes off every 5 seconds. So think about it like Curse if you play Magicka Sword. You want to time the leap with this, with a Power Lash. That's 3 things you can time. It really gets the job done. Another tip would also be using Talons. Talons is an immobilization and a dot, and it does some pretty nice initial damage, not too much. But I use Talons a lot just to get people to not hit me. So you can jump Talons and make sure like you Talons people and you hit them from behind. A lot of abilities only work when you're facing an opponent, and Talons pretty much counteracts that. So basically, if this was a dude I could fight, I'd Talon him, go behind him, and he could be left just standing, like looking at the wall, not being able to hit me. So it can pretty much take the pressure off of you sometimes and just slow people down. For instance, if you're in a tower, you Talon them and walk the other way, they're all left there. They have to roll dodge or do something to get out of that, and it just saves time and decreases the pressure taken on you. Those are my tips and tricks for Dragonknight. I hope you guys understood some of the defensive and offensive pointers that I gave to you guys. If anything doesn't make sense, just let me know. I think I explained everything. This is just personally what I do. It works pretty good. So that's pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and a comment. Subscribe to the channel if you want to. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.